This out. Tyler, the Creator, greatest rapper of all time. It's all happening.
Status selector.
Just over 11 years ago, Tyler, the Creator, stopped the internet with the video release of Yonkers, a lurching, synth-charged anthem that sounds perfectly fit for a horror film. The visual is so simple yet mind-numbing. It's shot in black and white. Tyler sits alone on a stool twitching out his bars. Then halfway through the first verse, he pulls out a cockroach, lets it walk all across his hand, then eats it, then pukes it up, then sits back down, takes his shirt off, his eyes turn black like Uncle Charles in Bone Thugs Crossroads video. Then he stands up and hangs himself, and the video ends with his legs dangling, feet twitching, crazy. To date, Yonkers has notched over 137 million views on YouTube. It's an anthemic intro to the Odd Future era. Tyler produced the entire track himself. He wrote every wild and arguably offensive bar. And apparently, the whole thing was a joke. A joke. Check out what he told Vince Staples in a conversation with Fader. Dude, niggas don't know that beat was made as a joke. I was trying to make a shitty New York beat and we was just rapping like we was from New York, like we were. And then I just had some random verses and I was just like, I'll just record it to this beat. This beat is kind of cool. And then niggas really liked it. That's so nuts because that shit was actually a fucking joke. I made that beat in literally 8 minutes.
Come on, stop fucking playing with me.
Yonkers opens with, I'm a fucking walking paradox, no I'm not. And I can't think of a more fitting opening line that defines one of music's most enigmatic careers. In every sense, Tyler and his Odd Future cohorts shifted the industry axis with their brand of shocking visuals and verses. Back then, his prolific use of the F word had the media accusing him of being homophobic. His seemingly anti-mainstream aesthetic had hipsters marginalizing him as a punk rap indie act. His dark, ghastly production had rap heads calling his brand of hip-hop horrorcore. They called Odd Future the new Gravediggers. But Tyler didn't embrace any of the comparisons, no. In fact, he railed against them. On the title track to his first album, Goblin, he blasts back at the pigeonholers. He said, fuck that, these niggas ain't fucking with me, cause I don't listen to the immortal of Tech of the Neek and all this underground bullshit that's never gon' peak on the Billboard Top 20 and Jam of the Week. I'd rather listen to Badu and Pusha the T and some Waka Flocka Flame instead of that real hip hop that's bull of the sheet. But they want to critique everything that we Wolfgang has ever released. Bull of the sheet. Tyler's a trip. Now he closes that verse like this, check this out. But they don't get it because it's not made for them, he says. The nigga that's in the mirror rapping is made for him. But they don't have the mindset that's the same as him. I'm not weird, you're a F-bomb. Shame on him. You know, the irony about this whole verse is that while the 19-year-old Tyler, the Creator, is imploring critics to treat him as an individual, as a one-of-one per se, he's doing so while using the best Eminem flow and arguably perspective his still burgeoning lyrical utility belt could muster. It's all happening. Goblin wasn't particularly well received. Neither was his second album, Wolf, or his third album, Cherry Bomb. Fans liked them, sure. Each of the three had their moments, but none of those touched #1 on the album charts, none of those were close to critically acclaimed, and none of those seemed to break out of the narrow box constructed around him. Here's the impressive part though. While the media was busy criticizing those earlier works, Tyler never stopped creating. First off, outside of Transylvania off Goblin, which was produced by Left Brain, who's in Odd Future, Tyler handled all the production himself. That's right, so all of those first 3 projects, Tyler's doing 99% of the producing and all the rapping. While hip-hop heads were still calling Tyler a horrorcore artist, he started the Camp Flog Gnaw Carnival, a wildly successful music festival that featured Drake, Pharrell, Juice WRLD, Solange, Rick Ross, and a bevy of other A-list acts during its 8-year run. While hipsters were still marginalizing him as a pump rap indie act, he created Loiter Squad, a sketch comedy show on Adult Swim that featured him and Odd Future pulling pranks and spoofing Scared Straight and all kinds of mainstream uproariousness. While the culture looked down on his rapping abilities, Tyler was on Larry King Now explaining why he doesn't want to be considered a rapper at all. Here's what he said: I want my name to be mentioned next to Wes Anderson and Quentin Tarantino. I don't want my name mentioned next to rappers at all. Larry King: does it irritate you when people refer to you only as a rapper? Tyler, yes, I just like making stuff. Rhyming words together in a rhythm is just one of those things. I hate rapping only because it puts you in this box. I was scared for this interview because I was scared of the kind of questions you may ask me. And then people look at you different. It's like, oh, he's a rap artist.
Come on, stop fucking playing with me.
But a funny thing happened on the way to contrarianism. Just when it seemed like Tyler was being celebrated for everything except his music, just when it seemed like he'd be viewed more as a mogul and a leader than as a chart-topping artist himself, a light switch hits and he embarks on an improbable 3-album run of critical acclaim and commercial success. 2017's Flower Boy has been championed for its open heart vulnerability, its sympathy tranquility, and for being emotionally risky. It's entirely self-produced. His raps level up, his flow tighten. He's playing keyboards and using complex chord structures. He bared more of who he is as a person, and not surprisingly, it would become his first #1 album and his first platinum plaque. In 2019, Tyler doubled down on the flowing keys and sympathy tranquility emblazoned across Flower Boy on his 5th studio release, Igor. Igor is put on a pedestal for its superb production, soulful hooks, an era away from those early horrorcore comparisons. It's also largely self-produced and considered by many to be Tyler's best work to date. And not surprisingly, it will become his second #1 album and second platinum plaque. 2021's Call Me If You Get Lost is my ish and absolutely cracked the zeitgeist. This one felt more like connoisseur rap, designed for every detractor who ever questioned his pen game. DJ Drama hosted the project and is Tyler's highest rated to date. The Guardian gave it a perfect score, so did The Independent. Los Angeles Times called it gripping. It's also largely self-produced and every corner of hip-hop seemed to line up to give it props. Call Me If You Get Lost expands on our view of who Tyler is in ways closest to the culture than we've seen from him previously. And not surprisingly, it would become his third #1 album. Flower Boy, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost. 3 straight #1s, 3 straight critically acclaimed albums, 2 platinum plaques, and another on the way. Everything about this incredible run that Tyler's in the midst of is extremely unexpected in hip-hop. Pick an artist, any artist, and 9 times out of 10, that artist debuted with critical acclaim or classic proclamations. Not a lot of late bloomers in the mainstream. In that sense, Tyler is the inverse of convention. His three-peat didn't start until his 4th album, Yeezus.
Come on, stop fucking playing with me.
Tyler gave a great interview with Hot 97 following the release of Call Me When You Get Lost. If you haven't seen it, punch yourself in the face. He talks about how the collaboration with DJ Drama came about. Then he talks about how he's ready to embrace being a rapper again. I grew up listening to Gangsta Grills, he said. So that's ingrained in how I approach rap music, how I approach the genre, how I approach my skill set. In 2006, I was 14, turning 15 years old. So from all the Waynes, all the Young Dros, all the Pharrell mixtapes, all the We Got It for Cheaps, all the Fahrenheits that Lupe was putting out, after Jay-Z retired, after Around the Kingdom Come time and all of his feature runs, all of the Andre 3000 feature runs, the idea of approaching rap music like that is so ingrained in how I approach that the DJ Drama thing wasn't out of the blue. It's how we approach the early Odd Future stuff and things like that. I wanted a Gangsta Grills since I could remember, but it just wasn't time. I didn't have this big ass ring. I wasn't talking about boats and shit yet. I'm now at the point where I can do it. Around Igor, when I was done with it, you know, synths and chords and shit, I was like, nigga, I wanna rap. I wanna rap. I just miss rap. I just wanna rap. I miss rap. Yo, Tyler the Creator interviews are instant classics. He speaks with the detail of a seasoned composer, complete with geeky sidebars on hard to find Japanese style magazines, or the intricacies of Jadakiss rapping during verses, or the color blue that Wolf Blitzer is wearing, or Louis trunks, or the benefits of drawing yourself or trying to draw yourself for a week, or why people sound stupid when they say they want to drive a foreign. For example, a Honda is a foreign. Be specific, he says. He epitomizes culture, and he's not afraid to care deeply about every minute detail. In every aspect, Tyler the Creator is jarring, uncomfortable, uncompromising, and courageous. All the things that initially made hip-hop great. It's his most resolute GOAT quality. He's always pushing the margins of what's accepted. For example, early in his career, he was considered homophobic because of his prolific use of the F word. Then on I Ain't Got Time off Flower Boy, he raps, for example, been the man with a pickle plan, niggas know the deal. When I sell the carnival, I bet I get 100 mil. Next line, we'll have them like, whoa. I've been kissing white boys since 2004. Track 2 on Call Me If You Get Lost is called Corso. Here's how he opens the first verse. I be talking that fresh shit, I don't need gum. Cookie crumbs in the rolls, never no weed crumbs. He ain't talked to his bitch in 3 days. It ain't gotta be this way, I'm down for the threesome. His 2019 Funk Flex freestyle bathed in sensibilities uncomfortable to hip-hop's male-dominated culture and completely disarmed the show's host simultaneously. Sincerely, it's one of the best things on the internet along with the corresponding interview. Flex completely let his guard down, giddily giggling and touching Tyler the whole time. Whatever's cool or uncool evaporated in that moment. It was just two cats from two different generations being themselves without pretense and accepting one another. In every respect, it was a landmark moment. Here's the knock against Tyler though. Despite his prolificness and his recent success on the albums charts, he's not exactly a singles artist by any means, and this is a singles-heavy era. For example, since 2010, Earthquake off Igor is his highest charting song to date. That one peaked at number 13 on the Hot 100. What's Your Name off Call Me If You Get Lost? That one peaked at number 14 on the Hot 100. Lumberjack, that one hit number 45. I mean, even his recent collab with Pharrell and 21 Savage, Cash In, Cash Out, that one peaked at number 22. And although he has multiple moments of hilariously scathing bars and effortless quotability, Tyler isn't exactly a track stealer. He's not an artist who has a reputation for stealing the spotlight when collaborating with other MCs. But even with that, when the math is calculated, Tyler's impact on culture is undeniable, from the success of Odd Future with multiple members having standout solo careers, to the creation of his own festival, Camp Flog Gnaw, to easily being one of rap's most hilarious MCs to the degree where he created a successful sketch comedy show, Loiter Squad, to 3 #1 albums, arguably 2 classics, definitely one, you pick, you choose. Every time out, it sounds like he's making different genres of music and absolutely smashed the hip-hop zone with Call Me If You Get Lost. And keep in mind, he's producing all of his albums at a genius level in a vein very similar to Kanye West and RZA. Does the fact that he is an album artist in a singles era and doesn't have a reputation for being a track stealer, is that enough to keep him from being the GOAT? I don't know. Depends on how you feel. Rap's the world's most competitive genre, but there is no scoreboard. The point is this: if someone came up to me while I'm walking down the street and they said, Justin, you know what? Tyler, the Creator from Los Angeles is the greatest rapper of all time, I might not agree, but I'd understand.
Status selected.
Another Saturday, another TBD. Thank you guys for rocking with me. 5 weeks in a row. It's all happening. First GOAT piece I've done in a long time, and I think Tyler is absolutely fitting. He's absolutely in the conversation. I think he's an unconventional pick. But if you start looking at the things he's accomplished, he's starting to look like a lot of his peers. Some of them I think he actually has surpassed. I mean, we talk about Kendrick, Drake, and Cole all the time. From an art level, it's kind of just Kendrick and Tyler to me. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Also, I meant that line when I said Tyler is like RZA and Kanye. Like, to me, that's what Tyler the Creator is. Like Odd Future, whole collective with a whole bunch of offshoots, really successful, much like RZA. Pissing people off, rubbing people the wrong way all the time, and always pushing the art conversation to the forefront, a lot like Kanye. Well, I don't know. You let me know what you think. My name is Justin Hunte. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow @TheCompanyMan on everything. And as always, it's all happening.